Good afternoon, dreamers. Hey, just wanted to check in with you all. I'm Anne Marie from Big Dreams Homestead, and want to give you guys an update on things that are happening in the hopefully going to be happening in the next 2 weeks. So my sister, who works full-time and is the owner of the property, or one of the owners of the property, her and her ex-husband own the property here, and she works full-time and doesn't have a lot of time to work on the property and stuff, and she's actually taking off the next 2 weeks from work. And so some of the things that we hope to accomplish while she's off. Hi there. I have a buddy here who wants to come see us. So some of the things that we're trying to get accomplished in this next 2 weeks while she's off of work is electricity to her house. By putting electricity into her house, we already have the ditches dug. We already have the ditches dug. They've been dug for a while. So everything's all trenched out, ready to go. Except for there was a dispute between her and the other property owner on where they want all the electricity to go to. And so that's been kind of delaying us for almost a year now. It'll be a year, July 7th, I think we moved out here last year. So one of the things that we hope to get accomplished in this next 2 weeks while she's off work is to get the electricity to the house so that she can start building on her house again. Some of you might know she has a 3,800 square foot dream house that she designed and started to build. Then due to divorce and life and everything else, everything just stopped on the house. And so now she just needs water and electricity, and then she can get her final sign off and be done with it. So that's a huge dream for her. It's been a dream for many, many years. I'd love to see it actually happen for her. And that's part of the reason why we're out here. So we hope to get the water and the electricity run to the house. It's already got septic. We just need to hook that up. And then she can get started on finishing off the interior of her house. Excuse me, I have 2 animals out here. A cat who needs to run across and attack everything that moves, and a dog that constantly wants you to throw her a stick. Any stick, doesn't matter. She'll bring me usually blackberry vines to throw for her. So, that's the deal on my sister's property, but in the process of doing her electrical and water, we'll also be doing electrical and water to where she'll have a 5th wheel or some kind of trailer out here for family to come visit. And then we'll also run water and electricity to where my tiny home's going to be. So in the next 2 weeks, we plan to decide exactly where my tiny home's going to be, so I can go ahead and order that and start working on it. Have water and electricity run to both my tiny home and her and her mansion. We call it the big house. And then also clean up some of this stuff around the yard here, and I'll switch this camera around here in a second and show you some of the stuff that we need to do. That all depends on the weather, because if it's super hot or rainy, we might not get as much done outside. It just depends on what the weather what happens with the weather. So let me switch this camera around and I will show you some of the stuff that we hope to get started cleaning up. And Linda from PG Nano Farms. This is my office. I challenge you to come out and visit it anytime you want, hun. Anyhow, that's my outdoor office because, as some of you guys know, I am living in a trailer right now. It's a travel trailer that I converted. And there's not a lot of space in there. And when the animals are in there, it's like really hectic. So anyhow, so some of the stuff that we're going to get cleaned up this week, in the next 2 weeks, is we have burn piles like this laying all over, and we can't burn right now because it's been really dry, and then we get little rainstorms, but for this year it's actually been pretty dry. So We have a lot of cleaning up to do in here. My tiny home is going to go somewhere back in here behind this little stand-up trees. Some of these trees actually have to come out because they're dead, and I'd rather them come down now than you know, on top of my tiny home later on. So we need to clear up some of the branches that are too low and take out the trees that are dead. I think all these are good. It was, there's a tree, yeah, this tree right here is actually dead. The big one behind is actually dead. There's a couple of them out here that have died off, and so we're just going to take them out. We're going to get our friend over here with his wonderful brush hog and brush hog out more of this area in here. And so the tiny home will be somewhere back in here. We just need to make sure it's far enough away from the well, which is right there. So we need to measure off and make sure it's far enough away from the well. Not that I'm going to have septic or anything like that over here, but we still want, you know, gray water or anything else to be far enough away from our drinking water. In the tiny home, I plan to have a composting toilet. Some of you know that I did, if you watched the earlier videos, I did a bucket system composting toilet that I've been using for a year that actually worked out really well. However, my sister and I have both converted over to just using the little camping toilets that we can dump, you know, we use the chemicals in them, and we dump that into our porta potty for now, because before we go filling up any more composting areas, we want to make sure that that's where we want our compost at, because it'll be there for a couple years. So we decided that instead of filling up any more, we did fill up one compost area, but instead of filling up any more, we're just going to wait until everything gets settled with the house and then decide exactly where we want those composting bins at, and we just haven't got around to it yet. But our road is out there. Just give you an orientation. The road is out there, and the driveway will come in somewhere through here. The actual driveway, the permanent driveway, will be over where our ditch is dug right now, which is between me and that trailer right there. So the driveway will come through here, and so hopefully I'll have like a little parking area right here, and my house will be somewhere in here. So we just gotta measure it off in the next 2 weeks while she's off work. We're gonna measure it off, clean all this up, and decide exactly where it's gonna go, so I can go ahead and order the gravel for that. And then let me give you an update for our gardens and our chickens. We had 20 hens, or we're thinking we have 18 hens and 2 roosters. So we had 20 altogether. They're getting right about, in the next few weeks, they should start laying eggs. And we lost one of them about a week ago now. She was just sitting up on the perch and she was all puffed up. And then the next morning we came out and she was dead on the bottom of the pen here. And then we noticed that, okay, so technical difficulties there. My phone was filled, so I had to delete some stuff off. But what I was saying is we saw something had dug a hole into this wiring area over here in the corner, and that's why we put the bricks around there. And then we put the game cam up and saw that it was a possum. It was actually a family opossum, so the babies were able to get in. They were only going after the food, and the mama tried for like 3 hours. The mom, the dad, whatever, the big one, tried for like 3 hours going up along this side trying to figure out a way into the coop. Never did get in a second time. But about that same time, we have one of our hens that is not using one of her legs at all. So we have her over in a crate away from these guys, and we're trying to nurse her back to health, but it's not looking good for her because she's not using that leg at all. So we don't know if she got hurt or if she has a disease or if the other one had a disease or what. But it's been a week and she's still recuperating in the crate, and all these guys are fine. They're all running around, so we don't think it was a disease, or if it was, it wasn't one that transferred to any of these guys. So we're just keeping a close eye on them all and making sure nothing's happening. Dilly, of course, is keeping a very close eye on them. Come on. She's fascinated by these birds. We're kind of afraid to let her out with them at the same time because she's a bird dog. So usually when we let them out of the pen, we do let them out to graze and stuff, but we have her locked up inside. Come on, let's go. And then in the garden, not much got done this week. It was either way too hot or it was raining. I did get the rest of the chips down. I did get more dirt added to my potatoes, so they're about maxed out. They like really shot up like another foot after I put the dirt on them last week. So we got both of those, ones in the grow bags, and then the ones in the tires that are just shot up. Still haven't hooked up the sprinkler system yet, so I've been just coming out here and watering in the morning. That tub is supposed to be for radishes, but didn't get done. Still have the 2 blueberry bushes back there, and once I figure out where I'm going to plant them, those will go in the ground. And then over here, I still need to fix the gate so no bunnies will get in, but there's a gap in the tension bar that I need to repair there. It's just a matter of pulling it over and clamping it with one of these guys here. Just haven't got my round to it on that yet. But let's check out the garden area. So the beans are just going wild. This is just in the last couple days they've shot up probably another foot. I don't see any beans on them yet, but they are starting to sprout up. And then these are the peppers, and they're all doing good. The mushrooms have started to subside. So this guy looks a little wilty. He probably needs more water in the morning. I don't want to water him now because it's too sunny out here. Still have extra beans that I gotta either find some place to plant or give those away. But basically this is how it's going. They're looking really wilty today. It is warm. Yesterday was a really warm day. And apparently, see, this is those blackberries that we've already chopped down once back there, and now they're creeping in again. So we'll need to get in there and cut them all down again. Yeah, I'm just noticing that these guys are looking really wilty. So maybe I'll come out and water them tonight after the sun goes down. Strawberries, I don't even know if you could see that because it's so bright in here, but the strawberries are blooming up. Dilly, come. So that's basically it for the garden. There's not much update there. There's my sister's office. That's where her little break area for when she's out here mowing and she needs some shade. So that's the only update I have for you guys today. I'll take some more video as we go along with the house stuff over the next 2 weeks and the garden stuff. Don't know if I'll get anything more planted in the garden, but that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and finish up what I'm doing out here, and I will check in with you guys again in a few days.